This is Real Life with Deb Waterbury, a real show for real people with real issues. And now, here's your host, Dr. Deb Waterbury.
Well, hi there. Welcome to this episode of Real Life with Deb Waterbury. And you'll notice we're in a totally different, very zen environment today because I've got a very zen guest with me today. We're right in the middle of our mind, body, and soul segments and series. And so in terms of that, then, of course, it's all about me. So it's about people that I know and people that have impacted my life, because I assume they would impact yours as well. And so when we talked about doing mind, body, and soul, we knew that we had, we've got hair people, we've got weight people, we've got lifestyle decision people. And now, I mean, honestly, I don't do them enough. Stephanie will tell you that. I need to get these more often, and you can kind of look around me and tell what I'm going to say here. Stephanie is a massage therapist, and Stephanie's business, her office is right across the hall from me. So I was really, really overjoyed, first off, to find out there was a massage therapist that close to me, because it gave me no excuse, which I always have them, for not pampering myself. And it's beyond pampering yourself. We're going to get into this a whole lot. But massage therapy, massages, I am supposed to have them. I don't even want to say at my age, but I'm supposed to have them because it just helps and it makes you feel better. And Stephanie was giving me a massage not long ago, and we'll talk about that again in a minute too. It was mind-blowing. But when she was giving me this massage, we were talking and chatting, and she's got such a great story that I wanted to be able to share this with you guys, especially during this series, not only so that you can see where she's available to obviously give you the service that is amazing, but you'll also see this from a more personal standpoint. But this is it goes beyond just the pamper part. It goes into self-care and taking care of oneself. So we are right now in Stephanie's, we call it a studio? Well,
it's a studio.
Yeah, it's a studio. Okay, so this is a studio. Stephanie Bennett, thank you so much for being with me today.
Everyone.
So Stephanie, I'm gonna let you say the name of your business and stuff.
Sure.
And what is it? Go ahead and say that first.
It is Turquoise Integrative Massage and Cupping.
Yes, that's why I didn't want to memorize. Turquoise Integrative Massage and Cupping.
Perfect.
And many of y'all may not know what cupping is. I had only ever had it done one other time before, but it was nothing compared to what Stephanie did. So we're going to talk about cupping some in a little bit too, so you know what that is. But I mean, honestly, I cannot speak more highly of the experience I had with Stephanie. But let me just start from the very beginning. Stephanie, why don't you share with everybody kind of what made you get into massage therapy?
Sure. Okay, so it's kind of a multifaceted answer. I guess half of it had stemmed from when I was young. Our family was fairly athletic. All the kids were in, different sports, and my father was a very competitive tennis player, and so we were very into self-care already as a young age. We'd always have dinner together and then play some board games, and then we'd have like hot tub time. And
oh my gosh,
it was nice.
Family being,
right?
In the South, we were just chasing raccoons. But go ahead.
So we'd be working on each other in the living room. After a long day of sports, or just even playing basketball for hours in the driveway. So there was a lot of foot massages and back cracking and back massages and, scalp massages. And I just remember feeling from a very young age how connected and loved I felt from my family.
I guess so.
Really just having that all the time.
Yeah.
Like you plop down on the couch and there's stepmom right there. Here, honey, let me rub your feet.
Oh my gosh.
And
I
it was
have to pay my husband to do it right now.
So that was when I kind of started first realizing what healing kind of meant,
right?
With that connection. And then later on, my first job in college, I actually worked at a spa in Omaha, Nebraska, which is where I'm mostly from. And yeah, at that spa, they had a lot of different type of healers. There was people that did craniosacral and different energy works. We had hypnotherapy, fibromyalgia type treatments, of course, massage. And as the receptionist, I got to have one treatment of each so I could explain to clients, what these sessions were. So that was kind of my second awakening to these different modalities, as they call them. But what I'm going to take a breath here because this is where it gets a little real.
And
that's
maybe your
show,
real life,
right?
So, yeah. And it is. It's a phenomenal testimony. What it is, the reason why you even got into this,
right?
And again, as I was on the table and she was sharing this with me, it was so. First off, just a perfect picture of what one experience, which one can measure as bad, would move a person the way it should move, and especially if we move into the Father, into God, then He will direct us into the right path, even given the bad stuff. So sorry, interrupting.
No,
Go
not
ahead.
at all. Give me goosebumps because I relate so hard. So yeah, I feel sometimes God really does. He puts you in situations where you are forced to make a change and you don't see His vision, you don't see the big picture. And so often it can leave us, slightly traumatized. We reaching in the dark, grasping for straws, and we just don't know which way to turn. And what happened is that I had gotten out of the Air Force, as you know. So that was back in 2013, and I had gone back to Omaha, Nebraska to marry the guy I had been dating for years and years. Well, unbeknownst to me, he had gotten addicted to opioids, so painkillers, while he was in the hospital, while I was here stationed in Tucson, and had kept that a secret from me. So he had pancreatitis and was in the hospital, a lot of pain, and so they administered, painkillers.
Of course, right.
And he knew right away that he was addicted. I later found out. So this man that I had known and loved and just really married intentionally, just knowing that we were going to have this beautiful life together.
Right.
I go back to Nebraska and everything has changed. I don't even recognize the man I'm with. And I followed through with it. I did marry him, and he did a really good job of tricking me. He wasn't ready to come clean, and I understand how addiction works that way.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, it really did affect me. And so, kind of to shorten this a little bit, I had gotten pregnant, and did have a miscarriage. He was not there support-wise. It was just a loveless marriage, separate bedrooms, just the whole thing.
Right.
Conversation was just a struggle to get anything out of him.
By this point, did you know about the addiction?
I didn't know about the addiction till a year and a half after I left him.
Oh, wow. So you didn't have any idea of why this is all of a sudden happening. Bless your heart.
Why is he not speaking to me? Why is he not going to church with me anymore? Why is he not going to family events? Why did he get fired from his job of how many years?
Right.
Nothing was making sense because he was so good at fooling me.
Right.
And bless his heart, I can't imagine how much pain, because here's the woman that he loves so much, and I know that's not what he wanted for us.
Of course.
But that's what I got. And so eventually, I had talked to him about how depressed I was getting and how our marriage is not what I was expecting. I said, I don't want to actually end our marriage, but I'm going to go back to Tucson where I can get on my own 2 feet and feel better about myself. And we're going to have a year to figure this out.
Yes.
Let's make a decision together and not do it so abruptly. And so when I came back to Tucson, I was very lonely, very distraught. I had driven here with a U-Haul and my dog, and the whole time not understanding why my husband that loved me so much let me go.
Yeah, that must have been so confusing.
So confusing.
Yes.
So it's just blowing my mind. How did my marriage fail? Where did I go wrong? How did I not try hard enough? And I get back, and I had I'm drawing a blank here, membership to Massage Envy for when I was pregnant. I was using that for prenatal massage and stuff to start at first. And so I go to Massage Envy when I came back to Tucson, and I didn't know what I was looking for. I just knew that I felt broken, and I just needed somebody to care about me for a second.
Of course.
Even if it was a stranger.
Right.
And I had what now that I know it's called an emotional release. And during massage, it can be common for people to cry or for big emotions to come forward. And so that's what happened with me. He was working on my anterior neck portion, which is a pretty sensitive area. And I just broke down.
Oh my goodness.
I just started crying. And at first I was a little embarrassed because it was a male I was working with.
Of course, that you don't know necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the way he addressed it was just magical. I'm not even exaggerating here. He was just so present with me and acknowledged me and sat there with me, spoke with me, explained how it was natural. And we worked through some things together as we were finishing our session. And it left such a powerful impact. When I left, I felt so confident. I felt so hopeful. I just felt stronger.
Wow.
And I just went home with a smile on my face. Just, what just happened in there? You know?
Yes.
I've received massages. I'm going to cry because I remember how it felt.
Right.
And like I said, it was just like magic. And I later on went to a friend's house, who's a good Air Force friend of mine still to this day here in Tucson. And went over to his place and I was telling him about my experience. And he goes, you should look into it. And I go, it just hit me. I have been changing my major in this. I got a business degree after the Air Force. And I'm like, I don't want to do sales. It's so stressful. And it just, the light went on. And I'm like, if I could make people feel the way that he made me feel, I'm like, there's so much more to massage than meets the eye. You know?
Yes, yes.
And so I signed up for school. I found a holistic school here in Tucson for massage and other modalities literally the next day. And I signed up. I was sold.
You know, and I think that's really the difference, Stephanie, when you come to someone who has a personal connection to what they do. And they understand the value in that.
Right.
That makes that person, I don't know, it's more than commitment. You're part of what you do and you believe in it.
Yes.
And it comes through in what you do. I mean, honestly, and many of you know I have a lot of chronic illnesses, and so in that I've had lots of massages. I've never had a massage as good as the one that Stephanie gave me. And I do not throw that out lightly. It was spectacular. And I'm pretty sure it's because you really, really believe in what you do.
I do.
You do. And obviously you've experienced it firsthand,
yes,
which made you move into it. It's the same thing, for me, it's the same thing. I experience what it feels like to have someone help you through problems.
Right.
So I want to help people through their problems. It's something, it's just when you do that, you have a connection that goes beyond the mere practice of what you do.
Yes. And I would say the reason that maybe you could feel that comes through is because this is going to be a lifetime career for me. I'm totally in love with what I do now. And I want people to feel the energy from me and to know that they are worth it. They are worth giving everything I have during that time. I am present with you. I am talking to just you. I'm not thinking about something else. It's just you, your body, your mind, your soul. I just want to take care of, just love on these people.
See, that's
they're worth it.
I don't know how y'all aren't just going to be calling in about 5 seconds, because we're going to give you all the information for Stephanie at the end of this, and it'll be at the bottom too. But because honestly, I give out your cards right, left, and center because I believe in what she does. I believe in massage anyway, but I believe in what she does. So we are pretty. Most of us who do that are just lay people that have massages, we know the normal Swedish massage, but you do way more than that. Yeah. So give us some ideas of some other things that you do besides just the traditional massage.
Sure. Aside from just the basic Swedish, which is kind of more, the softer, more long gliding motions, just a lot more calming. I also specialize in myofascial release, deep tissue massage, as many people tend to love. I'm very strong, so
she is, and it's very good. But she gets right down and dirty to it.
Right. I like to get very therapeutic, as I call it. I'm about effectiveness.
Yes.
Which always isn't just like shoving that pressure.
No.
There. You have to meet the muscle where it's at.
And you do. Yes.
It's not just pushing through.
It wasn't painful. It was.
Right.
It was releasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's mostly myofascial release that I'm doing when I do that. I will do deep tissue and work a lot deeper. Some of my athletes and stuff.
Yes.
Also, I do trigger point therapy, where you're finding trigger points all over the body and helping to release those, which does so much for us. And then also, I really like to use a lot of heating elements. as you can see, my places, you know, I like to bring that spa-like feel, even though it's just a small studio. And so I just make it very comforting and cozy. So, you know, lots of hot towels, foot scrubs. I like to do hot stone. I add hot stones to almost every treatment, I would say. And one thing I love, I'll just say real quick, is that when I went into business by myself, I decided that one thing I don't really care for in other practices that I've noticed that I really wanted to change is that everything for me is inclusive.
Yes.
So you're not paying extra for stones. You're not paying extra for cupping therapy or for gua sha, which is scraping. There's different techniques I'll use. And my time is just as valuable whether I'm using tools or whether I'm not. So why would I charge more?
You know, I appreciated that too, because I've had many massages where I have to choose. Are you going to have hot stone? Or are you going to have this? Or are you going to have that? And so she does, and we're going to talk about our giveaways in a minute, but she does a new client, a new patient, new whatever, what do you want to call her?
New client special.
New client special, and it's 2 hours, and the price, we won't even get into the price right now, it's kind of crazy cheap. And that also includes a foot bath. So, I mean, I left here, I've never ever left a massage drunk before. People talk about it, you know, when you had one that's so good that you literally feel drunk. I've heard about it.
Right.
I left total massage drunk. Like I couldn't even walk down the hall straight. It was so good. I mean, it was so good. So one of the things that she does though, and she does include everything she mentioned, everything happens during this massage. It's crazy good. But you do something called cupping. Can you talk to that just for a minute? Because I'd always heard of cupping, but then you did that for me. And I came in here with such lower back pain and upper back pain that I was having a hard time moving. Within 24 hours, I was fine.
Oh, wow.
I was crazy. It was crazy. And I really believe a lot of it had to do with that cupping. So talk a little bit to that. It's powerful. Yes, it is.
Yes, I will. And before I forget to mention, just because it is on my list of things I do, I also really, really love my new mothers. So I love doing prenatal massage and postpartum massage.
Very good. Yes.
So I can didn't want to forget that.
I wish I'd done that when I'd had my boys. Of course, I lived in the Philippines. I could have had it done by, people but I didn't want to.
Right.
We won't go into that.
So, but back to the cupping therapy.
Cupping.
So cupping therapy is, it's been around for over 2,000 years. It's a traditional Chinese medicine technique based out of China. And so originally, I brought some of the cups here. Originally, they were known to pretty much standard, with the glass cup here. And so what they would do with that one is actually use fire. And so the fire, since heat rises, and it's going to bring up whatever is in the cup with the heat.
Right.
As long as the tissue is, not too dense. And so you would just put alcohol on here, you light a flame, and then you just easily put the flame inside the cup, pull it out real quick, and apply it to the back.
Okay.
So that's traditionally what they would do. Now, as technology has kind of gotten better, we found that there's other ways of using different types of cups for different things. It is very effective.
I would imagine, yes.
What I don't like is that I'm not able to control the pressure as much as I can in the other cups.
Okay.
So I will definitely use those for certain things. But I really so there's different sizes of cups, all different sizes. These are silicone. And what you would do is press, and then when you release, it suctions back up. So, your skin may come all the way up here.
Yes.
These I really like because the silicone manipulates and can go around the curves of the body. And then I can actually use it, and I did this to you.
You did.
Like massage, where I'm actually moving the cups, and we're pulling up all the adipose tissue, ligaments, tendons, muscle, and we're separating it away from your fascia.
Yeah, it feels crazy good. It sounds weird, like that she's, moving that cup around, the tissues up in there, but man, while she was doing it, I was like, it just felt so good.
It's like your back is breathing.
Yes.
It's like it just opens up this flow of your lymphatic system.
Yes.
You can literally feel it. So it's like, whoa,
it
is
crazy good. It feels and I've had it done one time before, and I remember hating it.
Really?
Yes, because it hurt. But this just was, honestly, there's the whole 2 hours I was in here, I was in heaven. It was phenomenal.
So I really like that because it melts down the tissue too, so I can work easier.
Yes,
it makes it
very
just
good.
All butter-like.
Very good. So go ahead, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. The last one, I'll just show my leg for demonstration here. But This is the one I will kind of traditionally use the most. And so these are just made out of plastic, but I have a gun here. And so this is going to allow me to manipulate the inverse pressure in the cups. So you would just apply that. And then, oh, probably can't see, but the skin rises. And you would just let that sit. So I don't want a mark on my leg. I'm going to take it off.
And you do have marks. I took a picture of my back. My husband wasn't in town. I took a picture the next day. Actually, that night, and I just had big suction marks all over my back. And then you do bruise a bit because you're pulling that up. It didn't hurt. They weren't hurtful bruises and they go away. But obviously you're pulling all that skin up in there.
Yeah.
I can tell you though, honestly, I've never ever, and I mean this, I've never had a massage where I felt 100% better 24 hours later.
Wow.
It was, and I wasn't used to that. You know, I cannot speak enough about this and how necessary it is. No matter what stage of life you're in, no matter how old you are, whether you're a guy, you're a girl, whatever, she's got all different people coming in here.
Right.
And your prices are so good too. I mean, you're so generous. I really appreciate that.
Well, first of all, I mean, I am starting off as a new business, so it's about getting, the right clients in here. But second of all, I really want to have prices that the average person is going to be able to afford. I don't want to be an elite service. This is not, before massage was just for the wealthy. Okay. We need to get out of that.
Amen. And,
it's for everybody.
And I will tell you what, I've had some massages at some country clubs all over this country and all over the world, actually. I've had them in different countries as well, even in Vietnam. And that was an intense massage. And that wasn't expensive because it was in Vietnam, but it didn't even compare to what Stephanie did. And the ones that I paid serious dough for, there have been plenty of times I've walked out and going, did anything even actually happen? I don't even feel like anything happened just then. So I really appreciate that it is available in both monetarily and then just from your heart is obviously in it so much. So we're just about out of time. I wanted to, as we're closing here, say a couple of things. First off, your location is Central Tucson. We'll have all that underneath here. I'm going to let all of her information, Instagram, Facebook, website, all that stuff is underneath here. But understand, remember, we're doing this whole year, we've been doing all kinds of giveaways and you guys have been really responding to that stuff really well. So Stephanie, and I can't believe this, has agreed to give away as one of our giveaway prizes, one of her new client massages. I can't tell you how much you want to win this. And even if you don't win it, you need to do it. I mean, I cannot explain. 2 hours of all the things she talked about. She pretty much does all of it for the 2 hours. And plus the foot bath. I mean, you really can't beat that with a stick. But she's going to do a giveaway of that new massage. And so you're going to want to look at all of our social media posts. Alex is great about Alex and Hope by two social media people are really great about making sure all that stuff is on Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. And so check those for those giveaways because you're going to want to then follow the directions in the post. There'll be all the directions about how to enter so that you can win this. Yeah. So Stephanie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I mean, honestly,
an absolute pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me too. You guys, honestly, look up her information. Do not dilly-dally. You want to come in here and get a massage. It is, and I have experienced once the crying, but it was because I was fighting with my husband during the massage. But it's still an emotional release.
Right, and people can release it different ways. Sometimes it can be like a breath where they'll just be, just a big breath may come out. It could be tears. It could be flooding memories. It could be, and it can be happy stuff too. It can be laughter.
Yes. Yeah. And there's just so much and those of you who are women out there, men too, you do know we just hold so much in, and it often is in those little small fascia underneath and places you don't even know how to get to. Right. And when somebody hits that, it just releases so much more than just the muscle aches or pains that you think you have.
And if you don't mind, do I have time to speak about that for just a moment?
Yes, please do, yes.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of explain, because at first I had to understand why I had that emotional release on the table, and now I know physiologically what's happening. Okay. So basically our nervous system is comprised of both our parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system, and those work complementary to each other. The parasympathetic is actually in control of our relaxation response, whereas the sympathetic is in control of our flight or fight response. And so those can get out of balance, whether it be stress or the trauma. A lot of times say that sympathetic is going to rise and you're not relaxed enough, too much stress, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But with moderate pressure and massage, and by releasing that lymph in your lymphatic system, letting that flow in your blood circulation, all these beautiful, beautiful things that are coming together all at once.
Yes.
That parasympathetic is going to rise, and now they're more balanced.
Oh.
So not only is your body getting the benefit, but that changes how you feel. That changes how you
Wow.
think. So it really is mind, body, spirit.
Yes, and it's not mystical at all. That's
Right.
just physiological,
It's
like you just said.
Right.
It's science.
So I think this is so cool.
It is very cool because it's not about, having some weird experience.
Right.
It's about getting balanced.
Right. And then on top of that, and then here's the last thing I'll say is just that for somebody to receive all that and then have acknowledgement, which is the most powerful thing I believe that we can give another human being,
Yes.
is just recognizing that whatever you're going through is as important and as big
And
as
valid.
you say it is.
Absolutely.
So I do not play therapist. I am
Send them
there.
across the hall and I'll do that.
Right. They go to you. But I think I just feel it. You can feel that that's what they need. They just need to be heard. They just need to be acknowledged.
Very
And
good.
I believe that vulnerability is about the most beautiful thing I have changed in my own personal life.
Yes.
And I surround myself with people that are very transparent and vulnerable.
Yes.
And,
And
in
it
fact,
comes across.
I live by Brene Brown, the researcher.
Yes.
Okay, so I love her. But she has this great quote that I do live by, and it's this vulnerability. Bear with me now that I'm getting a quote.
That's okay.
Bear with me. Okay, vulnerability. Basically, it's essential for us to stay vulnerable,
Right, right.
in order to experience true connection.
Very good,
We
very
have to
good.
take a risk in being vulnerable
Yes.
to experience true connection.
Absolutely. That's true in life entirely. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
It was such a great time being with you. I knew this was going to be good. I hope you got some information. Please, please, please call Stephanie. And when that giveaway comes out, you are going to want to join right fast because they're only when we do the giveaways, it's just for a couple of days.
Right.
So you need to be on target and make sure go follow me on Instagram, go follow me, like me on Facebook so that you know whether or not those giveaways are coming up. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Real Life with Deb Waterbury. I hope it's been a blessing to you as much as it was to me. If you want any of my books or information on articles or any of my speaking engagements, you can go to my website at debwaterbury.com. God bless you.